I just want to recognize these great men and women that are captains that have done so much for this community. Restaurants, businesses, all this stuff is possible here in Destin because of the fishing industry that we've created. And you won't go, I'll quote Charles Morgan as saying, you won't go anywhere in the world where they haven't heard of our captains in the Destin fleet, because they're that great. And they're everywhere, from the GNS boats that were made, and they're in 14 different countries, to all the knowledge that these captains have who've been invited to fish all over the world. It says a lot about why this is the luckiest fishing village. I came up with 7 committee members and myself to sit down, a total of 8 of us, to sit down and come up with, how in the world do you go through 150 plus years of incredible industry of fishing, and how do you narrow that down? Because I didn't want this to be a hall of good. I wanted to be a hall of fame, and we have a great history museum. We have a great resource right here next door, but I don't want to just recreate the history of Destin. So unfortunately, not everybody gets encapsulated in that first year. So anyone that thinks this was done where someone did not get selected, trust me, there will be time. When you're a tourist and you come here and you just step on that boat, you take it for granted what all the acumen that those captains have and the responsibility. Everybody here comes with a dream of catching a fish. It's kind of what put us on the map, put Destin on the map. I grew up across the bay. I'm not from Destin like Robert. I grew up in Shalimar, but I did make that trip across the bay hundreds and hundreds of times. And when I was a young man in my 20s and had a lot more energy, I fished out here every moment that I had. I was lucky enough to have boats my whole life. And so that admiration grew to when I understood the responsibility when you step on one of those boats, what that captain takes on.
And think, what would we give if we could